History is written in blood, but in Westeros, it was carved by a single blade. Most of you know the fall of the Mad King or the rebellion of Robert Baratheon. But long before the Game of Thrones, we know, there was a war that truly divided the soul of the realm. A war where brother fought brother, not for a crown they stole, but for a legacy they were given. They call it the First Blackfyre Rebellion. It began with a king's last breath and a gift that would burn the 7 kingdoms. You've heard of the Red Dragon of House Targaryen. But today, we tell the story of the Black Dragon, the king who bore the sword. To understand the fire, we must look at the man who struck the match, King Aegon IV, known as the Unworthy. Aegon was a man of endless appetites. He turned the court into a den of corruption and fathered bastards. But among his many sins, the children stood apart. They were called the Great Bastards. First, Daemon Waters, a boy of such breathtaking skill and Targaryen beauty that many saw him as the true heir. Then there was Aegon Rivers' Bittersteel, a man fueled by iron-hard resentment, and Brynden Rivers' Bloodraven, an albino sorcerer who whispered to crows and saw things others couldn't. In the year 182, Aegon did the unthinkable. He didn't give the ancestral sword, Blackfyre, to his true-born son, Daemon. He gave it to Daemon. In that moment, the seeds of war were sown. A bastard now held the blade of Aegon the Conqueror. The message was clear. The king didn't trust his heir. He wanted the warrior. When Aegon finally died, he left the parting gift of chaos. He legalized all his bastards on his deathbed. Suddenly, Daemon wasn't just a bastard. It was Daemon Blackfyre, a prince with a claim. For 12 years, the realm held its breath. King Daemon the Good ruled with books and mesters. He brought Dorne into the realm through marriage. But the old lords, the warriors, and the men who hated Dorne whispered in Daemon's ear. Bittersteel whispered the loudest. A king should be a warrior, they said. A king should bear the sword. Finally, in 196 AC, the whispers turned into war cries. The realm split. If you followed the law, you followed the Red Dragon. If you followed the blade, you followed the black. The climax came on a nameless field outside King's Landing. Today, we know it as the Red Grass Field. Daemon Blackfyre was a god of war that day. Armed with the black blade, he cut through the king's lines like a whirlwind. He defeated the legendary Sir Gawain Corbray in a duel that lasted an hour. Valyrian steel clashing against Valyrian steel. But Daemon's honor was his downfall. Instead of pressing the attack, he dismounted to ensure his fallen enemy was treated by mesters. It was the window his brother Bloodraven needed. From the high ground known as the Weeping Ridge, Bloodraven and his archers, the Raven's Teeth, unleashed a rain of white arrows. They had named for the knights. They aimed for Daemon and his sons. One arrow struck Daemon's eldest son, then another, and finally, 7 arrows pierced the Black Dragon himself. Daemon Blackfyre died in the mud, and the grass beneath him turned crimson. The rebellion was broken, but the cost was the soul of the Targaryen dynasty. The war ended, but the shadow remained. Bittersteel fled across the sea with the sword Blackfyre, vowing that the dragon would return. The realm was left scarred, suspicious, and divided. It is in this broken world, just a few years later, that a young man, a no-name, a hedge knight named Dunk will pick up a shield and meet a small boy who will change history. The ghosts of the Blackfyre Rebellion still haunt the roads of Westeros, and Dunk is about to walk right into them. But Dad, there's a story for our next video. Who was the rightful king? The man with the law or the man with the sword? Let me know in the comments, and if you want to see the journey of Dunk and Egg begin, hit that subscribe button. The fire is just starting to burn.